Hello, and welcome back to River Mountain Homestead. Oh, half my day's gone already, but that's all right. I went this morning and got those forms pulled and got that dressed down and got that other ramp put back on there and got all the little minor details taken care of. So he is in good shape, and that project is checkmarked off the list. So I came home trying to decide what I was going to do today. Had about a dozen things in mind and got to looking at the weather, and it just seemed like the perfect day to get rid of this brush pile. It is 70 some odd degrees, so it's rather warm for a fire for me, but it is what it is. And I'm going to try to finish dwindling down all this mess here. There's actually still quite a bit of brush that's been drug up all through here. So if I can get that taken care of, then I won't have any issues putting that fence up around the garden because I won't have to worry about it melting. It's that 7-foot tall fiber, I don't even know what you want to call it. It's almost a plasticky, it's supposed to be a deer fence, but for me it's a chicken fence, and that's why we went with the 7-foot tall chicken fence to keep my free range chickens out of my garden. But I'm going to Charlie Mike on this right here and try to get this brush burnt. And on a side note, yesterday, after I got the rebar laid and I had just a little bit of time before the truck got there with the concrete, I made a phone call and talked with a young lady who told me that she might have some rear tying tillers in the back. So while I had about an hour and a half to kill, I went ahead and ran over and jumped in their back room that they had just unloaded the truck and managed to score me a rear tying tiller. It is not the one I'm after, but it's going to suffice for now. I got it put together last night, so it is ready to go now. So something else to mark off that list. Let's get back to burning. All right, we got a little drizzly rain blowing in, but with it is the wind. So I'm going to let that fire die down for a little bit and not continue to feed it. And I did swap this guy out when I was at Lowe's the other day. So let's open this one and see if it's broke. And maybe we can get this put in while we're waiting on this wind to die down, and then I can get back to finishing off that brush pile. Mercy, that wind needs to stop. I guess that's one of my big phobias, is I'm scared of fire. If you've ever fought a wildfire, you understand. It's some nasty stuff. But we are ready for 1-inch packs on here. So now the fun part of digging that out. Probably not going to be as bad as what we just got done digging the last couple of days, but it's a little bit rockier here. Let's go see if we can find that water line. Now, from what my eyes are telling me and from what I kind of recall, is my water line is right in here. I drove a stake close to it. This is the front corner of the garden. My plan is to dig this out here and find my water line. And then probably somewhere right over in this corner here, stub up that frost free. So I've got to first dig down and find the water line so that I can come off of it and go inside and go to that corner, and then that'll give me water right there inside my garden. Oh, I'm excited about that. That'll be nice. See if I can find this water line without breaking it. Good Lord was definitely on my side with this one, because I found my water line. I just barely skimmed across it, didn't stab it. So now I just got to clear out around it and dig a trench over. And it was right where I thought it was. You'd think I'd remember though, since it's only been, well, about 9 months since I buried it. Wind died off. We'll see if I can throw some stuff on that fire and get it back going for a second. Give me a rest from this digging. I got my pipe exposed, and I've managed to keep the fire going, and I've got about 1.5 inches, 2 inches of clearance underneath. I'll end up snipping a small section out of that and slipping in my T-joint, and then running my line over. I'll finish digging this trench going over there, and I'll dig her down about 2 foot deep where I set this frost-free faucet. So, looks to me like it's about time to throw some more wood on the fire, and then I'll finish this ditch. I had an epiphany right there on that stroke, and I don't know why nobody was stopping me. Why am I putting that inside the garden? I just need it right there at the edge. If I keep it on the outside and I need to do anything outside of the garden with it, I don't have to go all the way in through the gate and around to it. I can just turn it on here, and if my sprinklers are set up, I can just walk to it right out here and turn it on. So right there where I just stopped is where it's going to go. Problem solved. Alrighty, I think I am ready to make this water connection. How are y'all doing? You gonna help? Here's my water company supervisors. Bunch of crazy kids. I've got the last of that brush on the fire. And I've got my water meter turned off up there. I tried to drain the line, of course, got about 1 ounce out of it. So the rest of it's going to come out of this right here when I cut this line. Excuse me, I need this. Beep, 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 beep. I'm going to hit you with it. Look out. Don't talk to me like that. I'm going to go ahead and make one connection on it. That way I've only got to make 2 connections in the nasty. If anybody's never messed with this PEX pipe, this 1 inch is a little bit more pain in the butt because you got to have a different set of pliers. They make cheaper version that you can get for 20 or 30 bucks if you're dealing with 1/2 inch or 3/4. But you got to buy the bigger set if you're running 1 inch. And all you do is slide these sleeves on, slide your fitting in, line that little old sleeve up where you want it. And this is very easy to do by yourself. That is sarcasm. You're going to slide the pliers around that ring. I guess a compression ring would be a better name for it. And then with it there, you just clamp it. Easy, right? And then you're really best off make sure you got it turned the right direction so you don't break the little fittings off. But that's clamped on there. That's done. Knock on wood, I have not yet had an issue with any of these leaking, and I've done quite a few of them. So what we're going to do, I'm going to turn you guys where you can see what I'm doing down here in the hole, or attempt to anyway. I got a little old cup here to drain the water if we need to. Trying to keep that somewhat clean. Alright, I'll show you what I've got going down here. Alright, I think you guys can see that. And I've got a decent gap underneath here. What I did was I laid that T on there and I marked where my cuts need to be. I'm gonna cut it once and water is going to start spewing everywhere, and then I'm going to make the second cut, and then we're going to slide a compression ring on the pipe on each side, and then we're going to lift it up, slide that T into place, slide the compression rings over, and clamp it closed on both sides. And it sounds a whole lot easier than it's going to be. And I picked the most wonderful time to do this, you know, because everybody should have a fire going when they decide to cut their water off and cut their line. It is what it is. I got my little cup for dipping here in case I need to clean this hole out so that I can even see. Probably fixing to end up with some wet feet. These are handy PVC cutters. They work phenomenal for cutting these pipes. And here comes the water. Well, that wasn't bad at all. I can handle that amount of water. Sleeve. The interesting part, well, it fell just a little bit wider than I would like. I bet she'll still hold. Now then, turn our attention to the other end over here. Figure out just how long this pipe needs to be to where I plan for that to stop. somewhere right in there. That's where it's going to be now. And then we're going to put a compression ring on the end of this. Oh. And take our frost-free faucet. And place on there just like that. Oh. And set her in the hole. So I'm going to go first thing and turn the water on and check for leaks at these two connections before I do anything else. Stay. I'll be right back. Everything went according to plan. No leaks. Best way to check your water to see if it leaks when you do something like that, when you turn your water meter back on, it'll spin for just a second while it fills the lines back up, and as long as it completely stops, you're good. You don't have any leaks. That's another good way to just check for leaks. You can look at your water meter, and if you have absolutely nothing running in your house, it should be 100% completely still. Because if you got the slightest little movement somewhere, you've got a leak, you may have a toilet running, something like that. But I'm going to drive this T-post on this thing, and I'm going to fill this hole in. What do y'all want? Hey, don't get in my hole, goobers. You bunch of crazy chickens. Boy, I tell you what, they're a bunch of nuts. I swear they're puppies. They're like little velociraptor puppies. I just need to get some of those little arms that they wear. Has anybody seen those? Was that funny? Sorry, Lucy. All right, T-post, fill this hole in, scratch around on that fire pit, make sure everything's in it that needs to be in it, and I am done. I'm give out. I think I'm ready for a rainy day just so I can take a break, but let's get this filled in. Not sure what's on the agenda for tomorrow, but I'm going to try my best to make sure that it is shovel free, although most everything on my list requires a shovel. So I need to work on this arbor for the entrance so that I can get it done, so that I can get my outside fence up. That way I can start getting the rest of the rocks out of there. That way I can get it tilled and start getting my rows made and getting the rabbit manure in, you know, all that good stuff. Because it'll be time to start putting stuff in the ground. Oh mercy, in about 2 weeks. It's sneaking up on us rickety tick. It's almost rabbit time. I'm kind of on hold on the rabbit. I've ordered my nipples and everything that I need for my watering system, and I'm waiting for them to get here, so that's why I haven't completed that. Just kind of sitting on hold. Other than that, super productive day. Lots done. Tomorrow's Friday. Weather's looking good for Saturday for Miss Angela to join me and help out on something. We'll just have to wait and see what our agenda reveals. But other than that, guys, have a blessed one. Thanks for tagging along, and we'll catch you on the next one.